ladies and gentlemen, Chess here, and I'm the last YouTuber who actually commented on this game because the game ended like 3 hours ago. So congratulations everybody, the championship has started. The first game ended in a draw. There was nothing really exciting has happened. I think Carlsen at some point he wasn't better, the position was equal. Just when you see this minus 0.1, then you start like thinking that Carlsen might win this. Yeah, he has an advantage, but overall I don't think that Magnus was really into should there be a chance he would try, but he didn't have this big advantage. But he tried hard. Yeah, he found this b4 move, which we will see, and so on. But it wasn't just enough to create real threat. Magnus is known for starting tournaments quite not that 100% ready and not that confident, but he never loses, so I guess it's not a big deal. Yeah, but we know that most of Magnus's wins were in the second part of the tournament normally. And for instance, last Norway Chess, yeah, when he started with -1, he lost to Karyakin after like 5 years. And then he won the tournament. He just swept the victory, like 6 wins in a row, something like that. So it's ridiculous how good he plays in the second half. He's very strong physically, yeah. And this tournament, it has this difference that they don't have increment from move 1. It starts like after move 40, maybe 60, yeah, but I didn't check. And so the game is generally much shorter, for 1 hour. Yeah, you can play 7-hour game, but when the increment starts from move 1, and Magnus is really strong in this last hour, so it's a little bit better for Nepo because he plays fast, and so like comparing to any other grandmaster, he is not like unlimited strength, let's say. He also can get tired. This tiebreak issue, yeah, I read some thoughts about it, and there was this idea by Grandmaster Shahade, yeah, to play tiebreak before the tournament, which I think is overall better than playing like the last day, and just whoever wins this tiebreak then gets this draw odds, yeah, in case the match is drawn, and so they play whoever wins more classical games, and I think it's better. Grandmaster Seravan probably offered to play 15th game, and the candidate plays with white pieces and classical game, and if he wins, then he wins the title. If he doesn't, in case of the result is drawn, then like champion retains the title. I think it's not really fair because it's a bit unbalanced. I don't see how you can play with white for like clear win if we've seen the match. Previous match was drawn, 12 games in a draw, and then before that just two wins. So this World Championship matches, they're extremely drawish, and if you drew 14 games and just play with white, I don't see how it's like enough. Okay, so let's move to the game. Ian played e4, and I don't know, I'm sure he won't play d4 against Magnus because he never made this move against him in, let's say, tournament chess, and we will definitely see some c4s. So Magnus played e5. Let me turn off the sound. This is not surprise, but we've seen him last championship he played c5, and we might see this. And Magnus is very convenient to play other openings like c6. Probably it gets more and more popular, and I don't think he plays a lot of Russian defense, petrol defense, but it starts from, we won't see e6 definitely in this tournament. So knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5. This is bread and butter for every grandmaster, the Rui Lopez. And Magnus played a6. One of the grandmasters said that, who was commentating the game, at which I followed, said that, well, I'm really happy. He's not happy with this Rui Lopez, but at least it's not Berlin. Bishop a4, knight f6, castles, bishop e7, rook e1, b5, bishop to b3. I don't know why they protect this pawn, yeah, and they're not in time to play c3, yeah. So and for me, like, when black in this move order forces white to play bishop to b3, somehow I always think that black somehow wins the tempo, but I don't know. Because normally they just castle, you play c3, b5, and bishop to c2, but it's, I mean, on my level. And h3. So this is position of the Marshall counterattack, counter gambit, whatever you call it. If you play c3, then the black play d5, takes here, and c6. There are certain variations. This is like extremely popular on all levels, and Grandmaster Aronian is big specialist in this. And obviously Magnus played it with black and white as well. And the problem with this opening is that white is uncomfortable holding the king, yeah, because somehow black gets a lot of activity near your king, and white forced to play g3. And I don't know, rarely we see that grandmasters go for it, they play something different. So he played h3, one of the anti-Marshall systems, and knight a5. I think very logical move. Just take the bishop and have two pawns. But the problem is that, yeah, I forgot, that they take this pawn, which Ian did. So he took with the pawn, bishop b5, b7. So interesting system again. Like Caruana said about Magnus, that Magnus is he plays the sidelines, but they're really positionally fine. Yeah, they're not. They don't contain any like really big risk. They're just not popular, but somehow they're very good. I don't know how he does this. It's kind of not a novelty, but it's in the sense that he can revive basically a lot of chess variations which are forgotten, and Kramnik was known for it. He played a lot of sidelines of his own, and Magnus's team is very good at it. So basically, what difference is between these two variations is that sorry, what's going on? Wow, I got subscription. Thank you. So what's the difference is that now black doesn't have this huge attack on the king, but they have like excellent development and they get 2 bishops. And white gets a pawn. And I don't know, I'd lose it with both colors, obviously. I think that I look at this position and I just want to say that maybe white should be better. And statistically, between these ancient players, the game is better for white, so they won both games, but it doesn't really matter. So d3. White has very good pawn structure, it's basically intact, and they have an excellent rook here. This bishop is developed, so but Magnus definitely knew what's coming, and what's going on. d5. Now he wants to align queen and bishop together and attack the king. So that's what he does. Takes with the queen, and I don't know. You cannot play. You can play knight f3. Let's turn the engine on, which is like one of the moves, but you don't want to play with one piece twice in 3 times in the opening. You want to develop, and white has centralized queen, maybe with knight f3, then bishop d6. It's kind of in the mood of the marshal, obviously, that 2 bishops attack, and white is a little bit underdeveloped, so it's kind of risky for white. And Ian was ready, but not just. He understood that he doesn't have advantage whatsoever. So he played queen f3. It all was played, I think, pretty quickly. Ian's still on his 2 hours basically. Bishop d6, king f1. Some grandmasters were saying that they, starting from this position, they were not like understanding what was going on, because like just bringing king to the center kind of because endgame will start, but let's try knight c3, which is more natural. We lose the piece, here. Takes, and if we take here, then bishop takes, and this rook is hanging. And black is already, black is a piece up, so knight c3 is not an option. So so if now they'll take here with the queen, then we can take here probably, and black cannot capture this rook on e1. So this is the problem. And rook b8. Sorry guys, I'm not that smart to like check all variations before this record, because I just find it a bit not that interesting. Okay, so rook b8, and one of the grandmasters he said that he doesn't understand this either, but this was much clearer, that you want to move your queen and then the bishop is protected, so this one I knew already. So Ian changed the queens, the position is this compensation for white, for black, I'm sorry. White has extra pawn and black has 2 bishops. They have better development, and probably a very clear idea how to equalize bishop d2. Protecting this b4 square, because knight can jump here, and but the position, I think in this position you don't want to let black exchange the, if you play in black you don't want to get this knight exchange somehow, because you need this knight really really badly. One of the reasons, because this pawn structure is really comfortable for white, and if you cannot attack these things, then knights can outplay the bishops, I think, in this position. He plays c5, knight to f3. This was the first move, I think, which, so to speak, maybe second, yeah, which Nepo made on his own. He was playing against the prep. It wasn't his opponent who was playing against Nepo's prep. So this is like a win for Magnus, because he got his opponent against him on his own like playground. Yeah. So knight f3. Rook d8. There was some issue with this with the board. Yeah, it was showing rook c8 maybe in previous position, and then showed that, but it's like small issue. Yeah, it's technical issue. Knight c3 and knight to b4. So if you play this game in 1 minute, then you lose probably. Yeah, so we'll see that black's disadvantage is deteriorating, they getting better, and this is what every teacher will tell you. Yeah, that you need to have active pieces. You don't have to have material. Yeah, and so black is attacking c2. Black has this powerful bishops in the center, and they can take here. And I don't know. At this point, it was clear that black is okay. Rook c1, rook c8, knight to e2, attacking the knight here. There was discussion that whether white can take this. So Magnus decided that it's not better not to allow him taking this knight, but Engine says that, well, we can play something different. But the problem is that, yeah, this c2 pawn is kind of weak. Yeah, if you put the bishop here, it's knight. I'm sorry, and it's not that such a big help. Yeah, just black will build up, and if you play c3, yeah, then your d3 pawn is falling. So, but Magnus played it made a safer move. Bishop f4. I think Ivanchuk proposed this move. Actually, we see now how basically now every chess player is some commentator. Yeah, it's amazing. Like on Russian these channels, they I think three like Karyakin, Kramnik, and Ivanchuk were like commenting the game at once. Yeah, so they have so many grandmasters like doing it. It's amazing. So bishop f4, and now he goes for some simplifications. Yeah. So Magnus takes on f3. That's the right move. Takes, and rook c6. So this is where things were a little bit shaky for Ian, because just his pawn basically disappeared. It's doubled, and these pawns are destroyed, and I think it was only Magnus who was trying to win at this point, and he had some ideas how to do it, but Ian really didn't spoil anything. Yeah, didn't blunder anything. So he plays this move, c3. Let's play. Yeah, g5 is playable, and yeah. So they have rook e5 here. This is kind of a more drawish position. d3 takes, and this is a draw. So not that easy, and it's extremely difficult for me to, play moves when you hang up your pieces. Yeah, but these grandmasters, they do it like easily. Because when you, I wouldn't play c3 honestly, but probably what was suggested by the engine, knight e2, it's like again passive, yeah, passive, and you can't really exchange this knight because it can jump to h4, and just you want to start exchanges going on, yeah, so that's the idea, I think. Rook e3, knight to g2, so at this point it was suggested heavily that g6 is a move, because after knight g2, knight f5, it is protected, yeah, and notice that this pawn is attacked, so if you play here, then black will take this pawn, and they basically have big advantage. And but the move Magnus played, and he has a back rank issue as well, yeah, he cannot just simply take, yeah, because he will get mated. So he played this, and knight g2, and after knight f5, Ian counterattacks here, and you cannot capture because your knight is hanging. So g6, and at this point it was equal, yeah, almost equal. There was one issue. Let's quickly move towards it. f5. Again, black is a little bit better. He has a more active knight, yeah, that's of course when you have some little pieces, yeah, activity is very important. Activity is always important. b4. So this was a very nice move. Magnus noticed that if he, like, he can open up the b file and attack with two pieces, and white doesn't have enough time to protect this pawn on b3, so he's basically winning a pawn, but it doesn't matter that much. King d2, and he won this b3 pawn, which again was a bit shaky. Engine was saying something, but I don't know. White should be a little bit worse, I guess, but again, I don't understand this move. And also, there was an interesting idea by one of the grandmasters, that he said that basically this game is not like amateur level. It's like amateurs don't understand this game, and if they say something that, let's say, Magnus is better, he wasn't better. Even though I don't understand it, I consider myself to be a qualified chess player, but I really thought that Magnus can pull out something out of it, yeah, and he couldn't, yeah. There was this some kind of interesting check. Yeah, and Angel says that it's a playable move. If you take here, then discard check and takes the rook here. So Ian, the only move is actually king d1, because if you play king c1, b1 is illegal, then it's check, winning the game basically. So very nice defending. Knight king f7, knight d3, and now knight is active. White has they started repeating this. So what happened? Let me try to remember. Yes, there was some, yeah, in this position I guess there was this move, and if white attacks here, then try to find a winning combination. Rook b2 takes, and I don't know, wins the rook back, and black is winning with extra pawn in the endgame. And they were surprised that Magnus didn't go for this, because it's a first line. Maybe he didn't see it, maybe, but everyone believes that Magnus did. All right, so very nice, very nice. Thank you. game, and we'll follow it. And thank you, and see you next time.